to find and pose models for beginners.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today's going to be a fun day. We're going to talk about posing. I got a question from a follower on Twitter about posing people, and I figured, you know what, I want to take this channel in a slightly different direction. I want to add some videos about practical knowledge that you guys can use to apply to your own workflow to make your work better, as opposed to always talking about gear, because I think this channel has become a little bit too gear centric. So let's talk about some other things like posing. So the plan for today is I'm going to answer the question that I got on Twitter in this video, and hopefully it helps you guys, girls, whoever you are, if you're new to photography and you're new to posing people. Hopefully this gives you some insights on what you can do to improve your posing skills. So let's get into it. Alright, so let's take a look at the question, and if you want to follow me on social media, boom, there's my social media links also down in the description. So question is, I do a lot of street photography. If I get someone to pose for me, I think I'm all thumbs, as the saying goes. Have any pointers on how to get strangers to pose for you in the first place? Question 1. And what do you say to models whom you hire for shoots to get them in the right pose? Okay, so there's two questions there. Let's start with the first one. How do you get strangers to pose for you? Well, simple. You ask. But it's a lot like talking to a girl at a club, right? You don't go and you're not all shy and like, excuse me, will you pose for me?
Oh, Dana, it's you.
Oh, hi, yes, Luce, it's me.
I thought it was a drugstore.
Oh, are you sick?
Oh, no, I'm fine. I feel great.
Good.
You want to come in for mineral waters?
Oh, I'd really like to, Louis, but I have to go to rehearsal now. Excuse me.
You know, you have to have confidence. So you go and it's like, hey, listen, I like this lighting, I like this setup, I want to take a photo of you. You mind if I take some shots? Or hey, you know, I want to take these photos of you. Look at this nice setup. You know, I'll send you the photo by email afterwards. People tend to want to do things for you, or you know, be part of your experience if you're having fun. So if you're shy and awkward and your communication skills aren't strong and you approach a stranger and ask them to pose for you, then you know, if you're not having fun in the moment, then they're gonna be like, I don't know, I'm busy, I gotta go, right?
Everyone to think that both their TVs had something wrong with it. Okay, so I'll see you later, huh? I'll give you a call.
But if you're like, hey, this is so cool, you know, I like this shot, this lighting, the sun, everything's so cool. Hey, how about I take a photo of you right here? And you're excited about it, then guess what? They're gonna be excited about it, and then they're gonna jump on board and be like, okay, take some photos, and you have a good time. And that's basically the gist of it. If you're approaching strangers on the street, be confident, be excited about what you're doing, you know, have faith in yourself, and there you go. Okay, yeah, 1, 2, 3. Beautiful, beautiful. I like it. Yeah. All right, that's it. I like that pose. Before we get to the second question, I just want to talk about finding models. Sometimes, like, I know when I was starting out as a photographer, the big thing was like, how do I find models? How do I approach people on the street to get them to model for me and that kind of thing? And it can be a little bit intimidating because when you're first starting out, you don't have the experience in posing people, and that's definitely something you get better at as you do it more. But if you're too shy to ask people to pose for you, then it's hard to get better. It's kind of like a catch-22, right? So what you have to do is you have to find people who want to pose for you, and a great place for that is modelmayhem.com. That's where I got started, what, 15 years ago or so, and it's an awesome place. So it's basically a bunch of photographers, models, makeup artists, hairstylists, just people who want to get experience, a lot of people who are new in the industry, and they all just do TF work. TF standing for time for, it used to be TFP back in the day, time for prints. So your photographer would approach a model, say, hey, listen, give me your time, I'll give you prints in exchange for your time, win-win. But nobody does prints anymore unless you're working with an agency. A lot of people just want Instagram content. So, you know, TFI maybe would be the way to go, but that's basically it. So go to Model Mayhem, set up an account there. If you want to find me on there, I think I'm 94766 is my account number. Type it in the search, you'll find me. Also, I'll put the link down below. So if you see this video and Model Mayhem's helpful for you, leave me a message on there, say thanks. But yeah, just go there. And like I said, if you're a new photographer, just pop on there, look for models in your area. You can do a search, and I guess there'll be a bunch of models there who are just starting out and they want to get experience modeling and posing and learning all that kind of stuff. So it's perfect. So if you're new and they're new, and maybe you can find some stylists and makeup artists who are also new and want to just get experience. So it's a great way to just build that experience. And then as you work with models, your ability to pose people will get better. And if you approach people on the street, and you're like, hey, listen, this is really cool setup. I want to shoot you here. Do you mind if I take a shot? You know, at least you'll know what you're doing. Or if the pose that you put them in doesn't work, you'll have some backup poses that you could go to just in case, because you don't want to take some shots of somebody and be like, the photos were terrible, right? So yeah, that's a little bit of advice. Now let's go to the second part of the question. Me, look right past me, right at the wall. Yeah, that's it. Perfect, perfect. Always love the pose. That looks good. Super nice. Okay, chin up slightly. Yes, yes. That looks good. Okay, so let's look at the second part of that question, and that is, how do you get the models to give you the poses that you want? And I think the big misconception with people who are new to photography is the importance that they put on posing. And it's not the pose that gets the model to give you that look or that feel, you know, it's the mood. And that's the trick. You know, a lot of new photographers, they'll spend a lot of time, okay, let's try this pose, let's try that pose, oh, that's not working, oh, that's not working. And they're like, I don't know what it is, that's the right pose. And you may have like a photo that you're trying to copy, and you're like, it's the same pose, how come it's not working? And it's not the pose, it's the mood, it's the expression, it's the vibe, it's the feel. I mean, that's what it's all about. You don't even have to pose a model. You just tell them, listen, I'm looking for this particular mood. You know, can you give me aggressive and edgy? Or can you give me soft and girl next door? Or can you give me confident and chin up, you know, shoulders back? And it's all about the mood. Like, sure, in certain situations the pose does matter. Like certain fashion poses, you want to accentuate the collarbone or the cheekbones, or you want to show off a part of the garment, maybe hip out this way. Or with glamour poses, sometimes, you know, you want to show off a certain body part, and you know, there's certain poses for certain situations. But in general, with photography, what you're looking for is the mood, because that's what really sells the photo. You could have the perfect pose, but if the model isn't giving you that expression and the photo doesn't have that mood or that vibe or that feel, then it's just another snapshot, you know. And that's the thing, there's too many snapshots in photography, not enough art. So we gotta work on developing the emotional connection, the mood, the style. And that's what takes photography from just, you know, a well-exposed image. That doesn't make a good photograph. Something that captures you for a moment. If you stop and look at a photo and you're like, whoa, that's a cool photo. That's what you want, right? You don't want someone just, okay, whatever, it's another pose, who cares, right? You don't want them to keep swiping, you want them to stop and look at your work. So you do that by creating a mood. So what I recommend is figure out what your photography is all about. What is your style? What is your mood? What are you trying to create? Are you edgy? Are you happy, smiley, playful? You know, you like serious, you like confident? Like, figure out what it is that you want to portray in your photography work, and then go and create different scenarios with that mood, and that's how you build your portfolio. So just tell the model, hey, listen, I'm looking for edgy and aggressive and attitude, and just give me that. And the model will just give it to you, right? And that's how it should work. And of course, there'll be times when you know the model's doing her thing and giving you that attitude, and you're like, okay, now try that same thing, but hand on the hip, or maybe hands in the hair, or turn around and look over your shoulder as you're giving me that attitude. And you kind of guide them like that. But for the most part, if the character is there and you're just capturing the character, that's what you want to work on. You want to work on developing that character in the model, and then the poses just fall into place after that. So that's the answer to that question. And yeah, go on Model Mayhem. Find yourself some models. If you're new to photography and you want to practice, it's a great place. The other piece of advice for finding models is, whatever your city is, if you're in New York, type in hashtag New York model on Instagram, right? And you can find some local models. If you're in Chicago, Chicago model, London model, Toronto model, wherever you are, just try that out. And usually you can find some local talent in your city, and who knows what that leads to, right? It's all about building connections, making friends, shooting pictures, having fun. And this video is now over. So peace out. See you guys in the next video.